They say an end can be a start. Feels like a barbarian still alive. It's like a bad day that never ends. I feel the chaos around me, a thing I don't try to deny. I better learn to accept that there are things in my life I can't control. They say love is nothing but a sore. I don't even know what love is. Too many tears I've had to fall. But you know I'm so tired of it all. I have no terror, these spells. Finding out the secret words will tell. Whatever it is, it can be named. There's a part of my world that's fading away. You know I don't want to be clever, to be not superior. True like ice, true like fire. Now I know that a breeze coming me away. Now I know there's much more dignity in defeat than a brother's victory. I'm losing my balance on the tightrope. Tell me please, tell me please, tell me please, tell me please.
Okay, can you hear me? I love this song. And it's kind of appropriate. It's a Phoenix song. If I ever feel better. And sitting here. Decided to do the black and white thing because I was really shiny. And everybody told me. And it's late. And I have a sty on my eye or something like that. I drink my rosemary tea out of my dad glass. Yeah, because I'm the mom and dad. Just a little bit more and we'll get started. Because I have a lot to talk about today. And I'm not as nervous. And I've planned a lot better. And I don't have somebody that's going to come knocking on my door in a little while like I did last time. So the other day I thought I was growing up, but I don't think I am. Because I'm sitting here and I'm not growing up. And I still wear tennis shoes, Vans, messed up Vans. And I'm wearing somebody else's t-shirt. And I'm about somebody took my place. I ain't even playing my own. And that's okay. At least I did make it today. It's funny because sorry, anyway, it says in the day, like there are those days when I always tell people, the music just can't be loud enough, you know, when you're driving around. Anyway, I guess I better get started. And so, thanks for joining me. And we have no background today. We just have closet doors, and that's just going to have to work. So, that's how it is. And let's see. I think I might do the whole hour today. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. This song's over. I'm going to pause so I can kind of have something going on in the back. And maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just going to talk. I need some sound effects and some other stuff going on, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I can talk a whole hour today and be a little bit more understandable today. So let's hope that works. The last couple of days were pretty rough. Sorry, I got to poke the rosemary out because I didn't strain it or anything. I'm going to just chew on it. Anyway, this is Everything Gem. Gem here. The Red Moon Woman here in Redlands. I've left the station behind. Yay! They didn't want me anymore, and that's fine for right now, but coming back with vengeance. Anyway, if you haven't already, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, wait, is that right? Yeah, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to YouTube, because we're going to be posting all of them there. Now, it's really, this is all a learning experience, and keep in mind, while I'm doing this show, I used to have a co-host, and I really miss her, and I have to do this audio thing and this video thing, and it makes it really challenging because I have to like read my notes or else I'm going to forget and I'm going to miss important things. Like last time I was like, dang, I missed all that. Damn. Anyway, so sorry if I'm going to glance down or whatever. And eventually I will get a backdrop. I just stole some butcher paper from the market, and we're going to go ahead and do all that up and hang a bunch of crap that I like, I guess, or whatever. Maybe whatever we're talking about. Be forewarned, if you haven't listened to the show before, I really don't have a very good filter, so this is not for people who might be easily offended. And I'm sorry. I mean, some shows are better than others, but, you know, for the most part, just diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. So anyway, yeah, I really miss Vanessa, and I'm going to do my best. And today it's going to be all about this gut spilling psycho bitch. Really? Yes, that is the title. Gut spilling psycho bitch. Really? No. Anyway, if you haven't already, you can watch me on and listen to me on Kicking It Old School at KCA 1050 AM. Station that leaves no listener behind, except me. And that is at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Mondays only. And there we talk about all kinds of martial arts stuff. And the Masters Hall of Fame event, which is going to be coming up on August 1st in Long Beach, where we recognize excellence in martial artists. It's going to be a red carpet event. It's going to be all fancy, and I get to meet all these nice people. And I'm so excited. Anyway, but yeah, and if you guys have anything that's martial arts related, that show will be ending in a few weeks, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to still be continuing to talk about all these martial arts events because I love those people. Great community. Anyway, again, that's Masters Hall of Fame, August 1st in Long Beach, and it's going to be concurrent with the Long Beach Internationals for any of you karate people that have been around with me for a bit. Also, Archangel Tournament of Truth is having their amateur MMA fights on July 12th in Riverside Auditorium. Also, Kaizen Dojo, my friend William Christopher Ford is doing a fundraiser for St. Jude Hospital, and he's going to be fighting 40 people in one day. That's going to be really cool. And all that money that he raises, he's going to donate to St. Jude Hospital. That's his charity. You can find him online. I'll try to remember to post all that stuff as well. Also, I think I'm going to be having my surgery mid-August. So with that, we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that when we get started, and I just do my update. And if you want to follow my journey, for those of you who don't know, I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer after 2.5 years of trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm hoping I'll have my surgery in August. I'll be really happy. Today we're going to talk about the lady that's breastfeeding the dog. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was pretty interesting. So I have a lot to say about that since I was a breastfeeding mom. The couple who had their 11-year-old autistic kid in a dog cage at their house. Yes, that was in Anaheim, California. Lovely couple. Jeez. Wonderful kids. Anyway, also this dude online, he was a fake. Wow, imagine that. Lying online? Yeah, right. Anyway, how that whole thing played out is pretty interesting and stuff. I'm getting pretty good at the online stuff, but I just want to be able to give you guys a couple of tips that might help you if you decide to do any of that online dating crap. Well, let's see. Also, the spilling your guts thing, because I just did that today. Like I said, that diarrhea of the mouth just kicks in and blah, 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 and that's it. Talking about when people aren't interested in you. You know what I mean? Like you're interested in people that really aren't really that interested in you, and vice versa. It always seems to work that way. So let's go ahead and move on to my boob update. I'm really excited because I finally got authorization for a plastic surgeon. I was waiting for a plastic surgeon that could work with my oncologist and make my boobs all better, fix my sick boob. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I'm going to be vlogging. I have like one. It's called My Sick Boob, and it should be posted soon, and I'll try to keep you updated. I really want to do it daily, but with a lot of things going on right now, it's really hard, and I just have to get into the right groove. You know how that goes. But I've been trying to get a second opinion since May and been given the runaround. I wanted to go over to the City of Hope because, I mean, they're specialists. I mean, that's what they do. But I don't think that that's going to happen. And since time is of the essence, I'm probably going to have my surgery over at Loma Linda. However, I am a lot happier with my new plastic surgeon. And he was easy to talk to, and I feel really good about that, other than the guy that told me my nipple was going to fall off. That was not fun. That was not fun. But I guess another one of those spins on the whole situation. So my right boob is like bigger than my left boob. I know everybody's not symmetrical, but it's really weird because it's changed like how I perceive them to be and everything, and it's changed like the kind of boobs I pick. So I'm going to be talking about that too later on. I want to have like this thing where I can go meet people outside and video them, and they can like squeeze these boobs and tell me what they think of the different boobs and the different shapes and everything. But you know, whatever. And I'm going to get like somebody else's tissue because I'm like too thin or something like that, and I don't have enough tissue, and so I get this cadaver tissue, and I was like, listen to the update. I don't want to get stuck on this because I know not everybody wants to hear about this. I'm going to be posting some biopsy pics pretty soon, so you can see my tie-dye boob. And my friend Christopher's wife is going to be taking some pictures. If you guys have any ideas of kind of avant-garde pictures that I might be able to take, that would be great. I'm thinking of doing some with an alien mask. I want to do the body painting thing, and I don't know, just some kind of interesting stuff, just to capture people's attention, and maybe they'll listen to me or something, and so that I can tell them, take charge of your health. Anyway, again, check out My Sick Boob. It's a vlog. I'm going to try to keep it about 15 minutes. It'll be on YouTube, and it's going to be on my website as soon as my daughter finishes it, and I'm really grateful for her, and please subscribe. So yeah, I have this sty somewhere over here. It's better, I think. I woke up and it was like there, and I don't even know where it comes from. There's a lot of little myths and stuff, so it's funny because I got little messages from people saying, what were you doing? Were you doing this? Were you doing that? It was just really weird. But the other funny thing is that the other day, I don't even remember what day it was, if it was yesterday or today or whatever, but I got this message, this friend request on my Facebook, and this guy asked me if I was in the porn industry. And I was all, in my own mind, right? I just thought that was kind of interesting. He's like, oh yeah, you look familiar. And I'm like, geez, I hope not. I told him to turn that camera off, damn it. Anyway, I love Facebook and the people you meet. Yeah, there's a few wackos and stuff, and yeah, I could have said, oh my gosh, and been really upset about it, but it's all good. It's all good. It's weird because I ended up talking to him, and his mother passed away of breast cancer, and so I don't know. It's kind of cool and kind of not. But anyway, the 4th of July is coming up. I'm not into the 4th of July at all. It feels like I'm just, I have 6 kids, and it just seems like you just like burning money. I might as well do that, because before, my family would go out and buy that stupid $200 box and all kinds of other junk, and it was just like gone in a few minutes. And who actually sat out there and watched? I was busy running around picking up barbecue mess, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not big on the 4th of July. I hope everybody has a nice and safe 4th of July. I have had 2 fires at my home on 2 separate occasions for 4th of July due to illegal fireworks. So please be safe and take care of your pets and all that good stuff. And actually, one year my mom was making, the night before, which would be July 3rd, which would be tonight, my mom's house caught fire. It was a crazy accident. I'll tell you about that sometime. But it was she was in the middle of making the potato salad for our adventure the next day. And yeah, I'll tell you that story too. But not today. Not today. So please, yes, be really safe and eat lots of corn, because I think that the roasted corn is the best part. And I do like watching the big fireworks, but not the ones that you just light in the street, by yourself and stuff like that. That's like not really cool. I'm also looking forward to the UFC fight that is going to be on July 5th with Machida, and also Rousey is going to be fighting Davis, and that'll be really interesting. So somebody's going to take me to see it, so I'm really excited. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Chris. And I'm not going to say your last name, Chris, because I don't want to butcher it. But he was the one that called me a salad girl. And so he's like, you can say my name. So I'm giving a shout out to Chris, my friend Chris. And actually, Chris's wife, Emily, is probably going to be the one that's going to be taking a picture. So again, if you guys have any ideas for crazy pictures or you want to take pictures, and I'm not talking like pictures for your personal use, and you're just going to walk out there with one of those disposable cameras or your iPhone, and then I need somebody who can like Photoshop all these little wrinkles and do all that kind of stuff too. So anyways, so this lady has this video where she's breastfeeding her dog, and was I surprised? I don't know if that's quite the word, but it's different. Oh my gosh, they're coming home. They're going to come in and disturb me. I might have to pause here, but breast milk is made specifically for the same species. So, and it's really made specifically for your own kid. So she's feeding this dog, and I'm sitting there going, now the dog looks pretty healthy. Not like it's like this puppy that needs to be nursed. Her boob looks pretty healthy too, I gotta say. But actually, she looks very healthy. Yeah. And that's putting it lightly. But I was like, okay, is she doing this for some like sick pleasure, or is she trying to take care of the dog? And I was really wondering about that. Then I was thinking, wow, why do we drink cow's milk? I mean, because cow's milk is obviously, anyway, sorry, my kids are knocking on the door. The cow's milk is made for cows, and we're drinking it, and then we wonder why we get all jacked up. It's just this whole crazy mess, you know what I mean? But while we're looking at that, we're saying, why is that lady feeding the dog human breast milk? But we're drinking cow's milk. Yeah, the whole thing is just really confusing. But I mean, I just really wanted you guys to think about that. Think about that whole thing. You know, then we wonder why we're sick. I don't know. And is that a fetish? Or, I mean, like, was she getting some pleasure out of it? Or is it a form of bestiality? Because she could have been a beast. So I was just kind of wondering about that. And yeah, the dog didn't really look like he was in need. So if you guys get a chance, go onto the Facebook and check that video out. She seems pretty proud of it, because I was like, really? Okay, if I was nursing the dog, I don't think that I would be recording it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because I got my implants after I finished nursing my son, probably a couple of years afterwards. And I mean, it reaps havoc on your boobs. So why would you even want to do that? And then this dog's got these nails, you know, and they're like all going in her boob. And I was like, oh, that doesn't look like it would be very pleasurable at all. As a matter of fact, it's so funny. My first son, actually started cutting his eye teeth first. And I have this like scar on my boob, which you guys will probably see later on. And it was because I couldn't position him right, and that tooth would just continually dig into my boob, and I had to feed him. You know, what was I going to do? So yeah, breastfeeding is quite an experience. But again, I wouldn't do that. You know, there was also recently that black girl that had just graduated from college, and I guess she videoed herself nursing her kid at her graduation. Now, here's the thing. And it was like this whole thing about, yes, black women do nurse or breastfeed or something like that, whatever, okay? And the thing is like, she just like whips it out, whoop, and just like feeding this baby, and her tits all hanging out right there outside of her gown, you know. Like, and the gown is the easiest thing to use. Like, you could, you know, do it very discreetly. Why should we do it discreetly? I think there's a certain amount of consideration you have to have for other people. She was obviously trying to make a statement, but it's, you know, I mean, is that really necessary? I mean, are you really that needy that you have to do that? There we go back to them needy bitches, you know what I mean? I nursed my kids while I was teaching karate, but, you know, I have a gi on, I just tuck them in there, everything was good. And, I mean, kid needed to be fed. I was over at the studio, God knows how many hours a day. So it was part of it. And I think it was actually kind of healthy for the other kids, you know, like I wasn't like just whipping it out and doing that, but they could actually, you know, experience that. And that was kind of interesting in itself. So anyway, and I know this is getting off topic. Here we go. But I actually sparred a while I was pregnant. And it's kind of this weird experiment that, you know how they say that mothers are very protective? I think I was actually a much better fighter then, because no, I wouldn't let anybody touch me. But I didn't do that forever. But, you know, I did that for a while, maybe till I was about 4 months or so, you know, and then here and there. It wasn't like I was afraid to get hit or anything like that. It was just all kind of like just part of the natural process. So anyway, I'm going to learn how to take breaks eventually, but right now I'm going to continue to bore you. So I hope my voice isn't too monotone, and I don't want it to be monotone. And if you're just, you know, it's different, because like if you're on the radio, people can like tune in at random times, but we're just going to go ahead and go on and talk about the people who locked their kid up in a cage. Okay, so this kid's got autism. He's 11 years old. He has 2 parents. I believe they're Vietnamese, and this was in Anaheim. And somebody ratted them out. The authorities went over there, they took the cage, which looked like a pretty good size cage, okay? We're not talking about like a 3x3. We're talking about a good sized cage, like one that I would have probably used in the past when I was showing my dog or something like that, right? And he has autism, and they said they had to lock him up because he has these violent outbursts. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, and when they got there, by the way, he was not in the cage. He was out of the cage, and yes, it had a mattress in it, but they said he looked well nourished, and everything else, was cool. They also have 2 other kids. They took all of the kids, obviously, and they booked these 2 for child endangerment. And I'm thinking, okay, so if the kid would have got out and had one of his violent fits and grabbed a knife and hurt himself or somebody else, then what? Then what are you going to get booked for? Now, I know, you shouldn't lock your kid in the cage, but I can remember certain things where I have dealt with people who have these challenges. I had, although I had a good relationship with a little girl that had autism. There have been other people that I know that have. My brother had cerebral palsy, and let me tell you, he would beat the shit out of me. I mean, he would dig his nails into my arms when I had to bring him home, and it was a nightmare. It was very, very. It really impacted my life, and knowing that I really couldn't hurt him or do anything. I mean, he would kick me, and he had those big fucking shoes on, those orthopedic shoes, you know what I mean? And I'd be full of bruises, and then he'd dig his nails into me, and it was really, really challenging. So, I mean, how do you get help? How? I mean, I can't even get my fucking plastic surgery authorized. You know what I mean? I can't get a second opinion, and I don't have that language barrier. Well, maybe I do, but I mean, I can't even imagine how the. I just look and I think, gosh, were they down? I mean, was this their last resort? That they felt bad and that they had to put him in this cage or what? I mean, I'm just always trying to take a different perspective. Yes, they could be total fucking assholes, throw their kid in the cage and don't worry about it, shove his food in there and be done. But I'm just getting this feeling that that's not really the case. If you guys have any feedback, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook or whatever and let me know, because I did post it up there. But I know from personal experience it's very hard to get assistance, especially if you have a handicapped family member or somebody that's elderly. I mean, it's like it takes a damn act of God, you know what I mean? And I think they were also trying to keep the other kids safe. So again, check that out. Tell me what you think. I know it's a lot of crap I talked about right there, but I just want to hear your opinion. So this dude online, so I was on one of these free, I have a few online profiles, and I was on one of the free ones, and I kept missing this guy. Like, he'd send me a message, and I sent a message back. And he didn't have really anything in his profile, one picture, and I'm thinking, whatever, I'm not going to invest too much time in it. So I'd be like, hey. 2 days later, he'd send back, hey. It's kind of really stupid, right? So, of course, I asked him, hey, do you have Kik, or do you have this, or do you have that? Because I'm not going to give him my phone number. And he said, no, I don't. Blah, 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 whatever. So, just happened to both be online at the same time for once. And he started telling me about him, said he was a Marine and where he was at. It's not too far from here. And I thought, now, you guys know how I feel about those guys and stuff. So it wasn't so much that, oh my gosh, I love him, or I love this guy in a uniform, or anything like that. What it was more like is that a lot of times, they're not going to do things or get crazy because they won't risk that with their position. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my friends told me, oh gosh, I can't fuck a girl that's been drinking because anything can happen and I can be in a lot of trouble. So even if they're drinking a little, you got to be really cautious. So he's really careful about what he does and things like that. So I'm like, I'm going to give this guy my phone number. And we start texting. And it was pretty apparent from the get-go. And these are just things that I'm telling you guys, so if you are doing the online dating, like, he would talk to me more in the daytime, wouldn't talk to me so much at night, never would send me a picture. He would ignore, like, my picture requests. It was kind of really this strange thing. And on free sites, people aren't really investing very much. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, well, I'm spending $200 or $300 like on Ashley Madison or something like that. You know what I mean? So they're just more likely to just fuck around. Anyway, finally I told him, well, if you can't commit to, you're not sending me many pictures and you're not going to tell me when you're going to meet me or everything. It's like, well, when you get to that point, then go ahead and message me. For now, I'm going to stop texting you. And at that point, he was like, oh gosh, no. I said, well, here it is. I mean, here it is. You got to be married. I mean, and we had this conversation and he finally, confessed, and he was already young. His lie made him already young, but this made him even younger. And he had a kid, and he was married, and it was his friend's picture. And I was like, hey, let me have your friend's number, because he's cute. And yeah, but he did tell me the truth afterwards, and I just stopped messaging him. One of the things that I do is when I ask somebody to send me a picture, I'll be like I'll ask them to send me one like wherever they're at, so I know it's them. And I'll say, where you're sitting, and they're like, yeah, I'm in my room, or I'm in the living room watching TV. And I'll say, okay, do you have the clicker by you? And they're like, yeah. I say, okay, take a picture with a clicker on your shoulder, because if they've like taken pictures out of a magazine or they're their friends pictures or whatever, they're not going to be able to do that. Or take a picture with an apple, or do this or do that, or take a picture with your car that you say you have. And when you do that, then you'll know if they're real or not. So just a hint if you're doing online dating. But anyway, so yeah, there were all those telltale signs and stuff. Again, one of the things that sucked is that he said, oh yeah, my mama had breast cancer. He did tell me like some details, how many surgeries she had to have and stuff. So maybe that part wasn't a lie, but nevertheless, I really don't have the time or energy to invest in a situation like that. If they're deceitful at that point, can you imagine later on? Anyway, I have a lot to talk about. Anyway, so I was having this conversation. My friend posted something, and he had mentioned about how like now that he was single, he could do like certain things like eat in certain pajamas at certain times. Just kind of, he has that like certain freedom. And then he mentioned how other girls, a lot of women wouldn't like that. And then it kind of stuck in my mind. I thought, yeah, I really wouldn't care if he was doing that. And he was like saying eating Jack in the Box at 3 o'clock in the morning, watching movies, blah, 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 blah. I was like, nah, that's fine. I don't have to necessarily do it with him if I don't like it, but I don't have to hate on him because he's doing it, right? And so I said, really, do you really think a girl would be annoyed if you were doing that? And he said, yeah, he says, I don't think that women really know what they want. And I really don't think that men know what they want either. I think that, we think we know what we want, and it's not that. So I think that, we can say, oh yeah, like I can say, oh God, I like tall guys and I like this and I like that. But I'm kind of like just screening out all these other amazing guys for those, superficial kind of things. You know what I mean? So you really can't write somebody down on paper. But I do know what I don't want. That for me is pretty clear. And I think that in time, as you have more experiences, I think this is kind of where the confusion lies, because a lot of guys will say, well, I like dating more mature women, or I like older women because they know what they want. Not true. Okay, older women are just as fucked up as younger women. If not, maybe more, because they've had more fucked up experiences. However, I do think that, like, for me, I know more of what I don't want because I have had more dating experience. And, it takes a while, you know what I mean? And he was just saying how, isn't it funny how when you want somebody or you like somebody, that person is not really attracted to you, and, and vice versa. We always try to like find or get with this person that doesn't really want us. I mean, it seems it happens a lot, so I think I'm going to be alone for a while. And I'm okay with that, you know. I'm okay with that. I had to be, right? I mean, so anyway, the other thing that kind of came up was that we're expecting too much. I think, like, you know, with this whole online dating and stuff, we're expecting too much. We're expecting to meet this person and fall immediately in love. It's like microwaving stuff. Before, you know, we had to put stuff in the oven, and it took 30 minutes or 40 minutes to cook. And now we just pop it in the microwave and we're used to this. Everything's instant message, instant food, instant everything. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I mean, I don't think that a good relationship or a healthy or a fun relationship is just instant like that. I mean, what are the chances that that's going to happen? Like I said before, the guys that I've ended up really liking the most are ones that I would said, oh, hell no, that ain't, and I ended up liking them the most. And it's just, you know, you can meet 1,000 people that you meet online, but you just want that to meet them and just have that chemistry happen. But there's a lot of stuff that has to happen with chemistry. I mean, because chemistry is energy, and that's like in a whole other conversation. And people can shut you out, you know, of their energy. Readers have a hard time with that. You know, you can be shut out from somebody. So yeah, I think we're expecting too much too soon, and I think it's getting harder to find that special person because of just that we're really not that willing to compromise anymore, and we don't take our time. So it's kind of weird because, you know, we run into and we make this determination right away because we don't want to take the time to know them. Although, you know, there is that whole like honeymoon period and stuff where you have that great rush, and it's like people are always chasing that high, you know what I mean? That new relationship high and stuff like that. The one where you get the good morning texts and, you know, they're great while they last, but obviously they fade off. So you have to always make sure you have a good morning person available to you, I guess, or whatever. But I think, you know, that people are less willing to compromise. You know, there was a lot of give and take before. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm not willing to compromise anymore. I'm not willing to give up any of me just to have a piece of you. Will I compromise on certain things that I want from you? Yeah. So in other words, maybe you're not as tall, or maybe you don't have this, I don't know what. I don't know. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say the huge penis. No, I'm no, you know, I just, there's certain things that, yeah, or maybe you're not as tall, or I don't know, maybe you don't have like long hair. I don't know. Just, you know, there's certain things that, yeah, I'm willing to compromise, but then I won't give up like a true piece of me just to be with somebody, you know. I've done that way too many times, and it's just not fulfilling. And are we this way because people are so brutal nowadays? You know, when if you found me on Facebook or something, I answer everybody on Facebook. If you send me a friend request, I will pretty much answer, or if you send me a message, I will answer you. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to let it go unanswered and just ignore you. For the most part, I do my best to answer everybody, even if I don't have a good answer. And even in my online dating, like in one of my mailboxes right now, I have about 250 messages, and they're automatically deleting because there's too many. But I will try to get to people and just to be courteous and say, hey, thanks for your message, but I don't think we're a good fit, or whatever it might be, instead of sending them just nothing. Because it's really hard to put yourself out there. I know we talked about that before on the other show when I was at Chaos and Chasm. But I think that, you know, I told my friend the other day, I said, you know, the most profound statement is made in silence. So when you ask somebody a question, it's just completely silent, or they don't say anything, it's a really big statement. So when you don't answer somebody, it really does affect them, and the way you treat them, whether you're, you know, discouraging their advances or whatever. I think you should do it with some, you know, respect, and they might not always be nice. I'm sure some of you guys have seen my posts. If not, I'll put them up about the way people talk to me online. It's crazy. But I always, you know, take a screenshot of them and save them and stuff. Sometimes I'll post them. Anyway, yeah, people can really be really brutal nowadays, And I mean, have we become that shallow? You know what I mean? That we just look at somebody and we say, oh yeah, I want this, or I don't want that, or whatever. Like for men, yes, they're more visual creatures. I like certain characteristics too, but I try to get that balance, and it depends. You know, like there's certain things that indicate other things. For example, I don't mind going without with somebody that has a few extra pounds if their mindset is, yes, I'm trying to, get in shape, or I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm trying to do this or that. Now, if they are kind of a lot overweight and they just don't care, then it's not about so much how they look, but what their values are. Because I want them to have, the same kind of values and priorities, and I want them to, be good to their bodies and stuff like that. So that has to do with that. So it's not really just like, I don't like the way you look because you're fat or anything like that. It's because you're not respecting yourself, and you're not respecting and valuing your body. And that to me is really important. I mean, you can imagine now, I'm like, yeah, for sure it's really important. It's like, here I am working to save my life, and like I'm gonna do that with somebody that just respects themselves. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just depends. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because I know like men have this thing where they say, hey, look at her mom. If you look at her mom and her mom looks good, then yeah, it's a pretty good chance that she's going to be looking good too. I don't know if that's true or not, but my mom does look pretty good, I have to say. But I guess it's that whole gene thing. Then you think though, like everything changes. So let's say that you meet this person who's just amazing right now. And then in a few years, they're not so amazing. I'm thinking it'll balance out, because by then you'll be so in love with them that it's not even gonna really matter. And let's just hope it works that way, right? So anyway, back to being brutal. I would rather have somebody tell me, "Fuck you, fuck off, bitch," this, or I hate you, stay the fuck away, blah blah blah. I would rather have somebody do that than to just ignore me or play coy. I mean, because then I could at least say, "Oh, he's a fucking asshole. I'm not interested. He's an asshole." Da, da, da. But when you have one of those situations where it kind of starts turning into, it's not you, it's me kind of thing, that really, really sucks. And then kind of like when they just drag it out, you know what I mean? Like when they talk to you maybe a little bit here and there, but not really. It really sucks. It's easier just to have them say what they got to say and move the fuck on, right? So, I mean, what do you do? What do you do when somebody says that to you? That's the story of my life. It's not you, it's me. Yeah. So I have to. Who I am says, all right, Jen, what did you do wrong? Were you to this? Were you to that? Da, 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 da. Did you say this wrong? Did you say that wrong? I start asking myself these questions because, maybe we didn't have an argument. I usually don't really argue with people like that, like in that kind of a way. But I'll just start asking myself, what was it about me? You know what I mean? And I have all those doubts and stuff. And again, it's those experiences that affect you for a long time. And so I don't know, that's really tough. My son would always tell me that don't send guys long messages because they're not going to read them. Just send little messages. Da, da, da. So I didn't listen, and I sent somebody a really long message, of course, where I spilled my guts. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids laughing in the background, but they're laughing hysterically. Anyway, I kind of like spilled my guts, and the situation was that I had met him, and shit. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I think. Yeah. Anyway, crap. So I sent this long convoluted message, and I was just wondering, like, did I like read everything wrong? You know, like the hand holding and the spooning and the hugs where you do like the little tickle or scratch or whatever, and like pulling me close, like when we were riding in the truck somewhere. I mean, did I like not? Did I like misconstrue that or something? So I had all those things that I was thinking about. So I sent him this long message because I really couldn't get him to talk to me. And like he would send me a random text here and there, maybe just a picture or good morning or whatever, which I'm grateful for. And it just, I don't know, it was really kind of weird. So it was like, in a way, it was kind of reaching out, but then there was no communication. So, I mean, I'm sure it has a lot to do with my situation right now. I'm going to have surgery, and that I just want things to be good. I mean, I always kind of like things to be good. I don't like that bad energy hanging out there and stuff. But I wanted him to know that, I would rather be friends with somebody than not be anything. Like I have two ex-husbands, and I don't really have like a problem with them. We can talk and be in the same room and go to the same party and laugh, and I can kiss him on the cheek, and it's all good. And I just like things to be like that. Life's too short. So I know that he has a lot of shit in his life that he's dealing with, and he's told me that that he needs space, and that he's kind of like in a dark spot and disconnected and stuff. But like, what does that mean for me? Do I hang around? Do I just, okay, let's just be friends? I mean, that'll work for me, but you still got to communicate even with your friends. Shit. I mean, come on. And I really wanted him to know that I haven't forgotten about him and stuff. I don't know. Help a girl out. Tell me what you think about this situation. Tell me what you think about it. I guess, I told them that, I'm going to try not to message him anymore. I'm going to try, but I might send him a picture here and there. But yeah, I would kind of just like, it's on him now, you know what I mean? And can I do it? I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think? Do you think I can not message that person? I don't know. How long do you think it'll last? The thing I was like, hey, I'm not this like fucking psycho bitch, but I'm sure I came across as that anyway, which is really, really funny. And so I'll continue to wear some of his shirts and, some of the stuff that I have, and torture myself that way. But, I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm not going out with anybody else. I mean, I'll still go out and stuff, but yeah, I just don't like all that bad energy, and it's just puzzling to me because I want to know. I want to know what it is that didn't work, Not that I could change it, not so much, but anyway. So yeah, please give me your input. I'd really like to know whether you message me or put it on Facebook or whatever. Oh my gosh, now it's like I'm 43 minutes. Can you believe that? Yeah. And so, here's another reason. I mean, I was wondering, like, what would be the reason for somebody doing that? I mean, if he has a girlfriend, I mean, that would be a really good reason, but I haven't seen that being indicated. Or maybe he's just too fucking nice. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just too fucking nice to say anything else. So one last thing, in defense of my lunacy, psycho bitch profile, blah 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 blah, psycho bitch status, right? I'm not like in love with this person or anything like that. I do feel a definite connection to this person, a kind of like a spiritual thing, and I will always love this person, because I'm just one of those people that just love. I love everything. Those are the two things I love, and everything. That's why it's Everything Gem. But yeah, I'll always love this person no matter what. So give me your insight, guys, because I really, really, really need it. So Anyway, I just wanted to, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. Okay, It's a Great Life. I'm not sure what segments I'm going to do, but I'm going to tell you about this one. Unfortunately, we measure success with money. That's how it's measured now. You know, if you have money, you're successful. If you don't have money, you're not successful. And that's how we measure it in our society for the most part. I like to measure it and by my children and my friends and my relationships. I've had great experiences, and before this, I had posted some lyrics from a song, "The Counting Crows." And this is just one of my great experiences. But I hated the Counting Crows when I heard them. I was like, oh, most of the bands that I like the most, I hated at the beginning. I forced myself to listen to them at least 3 times, and then I can like kind of just make this for determination. So I had read the lyrics to this song, and I kind of wanted to go over them a little bit because I thought they were quite interesting. And we're just kind of morphing from relationships. But there's a line where he says, it's not love, but something in between, like a shade of gray. So what is that in between part? You know what I mean? Is it outside the border of friends, or where is that shade of gray? And does everybody have that? I don't know. It's easy for me to love somebody or love something, but I love yoga and puppies and yogurt too. So anyway, and then there's another part that says, you tell yourself the things you have to tell yourself to make yourself forget. Like, to me, when he said that, I was thinking that, how we tell ourselves lies so we don't have to deal with things in a certain way, you know what I mean? Or we kind of reframe the thinking, or we can just put it off, like maybe like something like maybe you saw a text message or something, and you're like, yeah, well, yeah, that's probably, she probably just had some business to do with him or whatever, and you kind of like put it off and put it aside so that you don't have to face it. I thought that was interesting in that song, and of course, this is my take on it. This could be, he could be talking about something completely different, right? One of the other things is he clearly states, that his friends are telling him one thing and he's not listening. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm just not really going to worry about that right now. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of times your friends have this different vision of things. And you should really just kind of, yeah. But we disregard what they say. Again, we're kind of closing our eyes. What is it? Love is blind, right? Do you do that? Do you remember when you did that? And then you look back and you say, yeah. We do that a lot, don't we? And not just with relationships, or not just with those romantic relationships. They could be with other kinds of like friendships and things like that as well. But I just like I said, I just like the way he words everything. Let me see. I think there's a couple more phrases that really stick out in my mind. She can't stop shivering and I can't stop touching her. And I've been in that spot where, somebody does something and the relationship's not working out, but you really love them and you don't want them to be miserable, and you don't want to be miserable, but, it's like that compassion and that need to make somebody feel better. And it's weird the way it's said, but listen to the song and tell me what you think about that line. I thought that was pretty interesting. And at one point he says, should I snap her up in a butterfly net and pin her down in a photograph album? And I was thinking, what's he really trying to say here? Does he want to make her a memory? Is this something that he wants her just to be pretty to look at? What was he thinking when he wrote that line? And here's another thing too, I'm sure you can relate to. Like you might be having an argument with somebody, or you want to split up with them and it's over, blah, 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 blah. He says he starts thinking that the things she's doing, wait, hold on, I think I got that wrong. He starts talking about like the things that she's doing, and they're kind of so cute, and he kind of gets like wrapped up in that, and he starts changing his mind. And that happens a lot, or sometimes we'll just say, hey, do you want to go do this, and just, do something and it's those little things that you start focusing on so you can kind of just get like a breath of fresh air and stuff. But at the same time, you know that you're really not making the right decision. And he changes his mind. Then he says, every word is nonsense, but he understands. Yeah, that one was really significant to me too, because I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying. I've had that experience. I'm sure you have too. You know, where like they're saying something and like not all the pieces are really fitting together right, but it kind of makes sense to you. So yeah. And then this one. Think about the consequences. I mean, okay. He starts thinking about the consequences, like when he's going to split up with somebody. When he says something like, you can't get any sleep in a quiet room, you know, he's thinking, wow, am I really ready to deal with the consequences of being alone? Am I ready to be alone? And you start rationalizing and you fall back into that fucked up, shitty ass relationship that you know you should not be in. And you're just doing more damage as you do that. And the cycle continues. So yeah, check out that song. I always think a good song has the music kind of, you know, it sets the vibe for it. Although, like with the Phoenix song that I played earlier, it was really cool because it's like a really upbeat song, but the words aren't really that, I mean, that kind of an upbeat thing, you know, talks about how screwed up things are. But yeah, let me have your take on it. So let me see, I don't have very much time, so I was going to tell you about Adam Duritz. So I really got into his music, and I thought, oh God, he's so goofy looking and blah, blah, blah and everything. But I loved his lyrics. And this is kind of one of those things because Adam Duritz is not a hot guy, but I was in love with him just because of his lyrics and his music and all the stuff that I would read. So there was one point in time where I was working over at KLOS, and I had access to their research room, which was my favorite thing to do. And I went in there and I found out who his agent was, and this was quite a long time ago, especially when I tell you about the money situation, you're gonna be like, okay, I know what you're talking about. So I had like $8 on me right this day, and I used part of it to buy a rose, and I was going to use the rest for gas. So I went down to his agents and I had a letter written and I was going to leave it for him. And I get there and I go in and they're like, oh, ma'am, can you just go sit over there? I was like, oh, fuck. So I was in LA, of course, and I was sitting there for a long time. I said, excuse me. I went back up. I was like, excuse me. I just really want to leave. Can you just sit over there, ma'am? Just for a moment. Really, just let me take care of this. Oh, okay. I go back, sit over there. I think I'm sitting there a fucking hour, okay? And finally I was like, you know what? I gotta go. Because my kids are getting babysat and I gotta get my ass home. So I go up there, I said, I'm just gonna leave these things here. Here's my letter and my rose. And I gotta go. So I go to, I said, just please just give it to his agent or whoever. And they're like, she just looks at me. So I go to walk out the door, and guess who opened the door? I swear to fucking God. I swear to God. And, you know, they're from the Bay Area, so what are they doing in LA? You know, I was like, and I guess she must have known this. She must have known it. So I walk out the door like an idiot because I'm like, holy shit. I walk out the door, and then it's got like these big glass windows, and I'm looking in, and I was like, okay, that is him. So I go back in, I grab the stuff off her desk, and I give it to him, and I run away. And I introduced myself. I said, I don't know what I mumbled, and I ran away. And I remember I was like so starstruck, and I went out to the curb, and I'm not really usually starstruck, and I like sat on the curb and I cried and stuff. And it was so funny because I was wearing this skirt, this big old skirt and stuff, and I was all sprawled out on the curb. And it was cool because when I walked away, I could see him reading my letter and stuff. So that was my really awesome experience. I really don't care if you believe it or not because it happened and it was great. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to try to kind of wrap this up. I hope I haven't bored you for the entire hour because I'm going to have to figure out how this is going to work. But this is what I did about. Where are we going with this? Well, I'm going to work this either into a half-hour show, maybe, you know, a half hour every day or something like that. I'm shooting for 5 days, 5 of the 7 days. I can't guarantee what days are going to be, especially with my treatment coming up. I got to get kind of like in the right, yeah, I don't know, in the right groove here and stuff like that. See what segments I'm going to carry. get the right clock so I can have this show carried on other, on other sites or internet radio stations or anybody that does the other hosting of podcasts. So if you know somebody or you can recommend somebody, please let me know. And I'm going to get specific segments. I'll carry the same segments, and I want to have them regular. So if you don't want to listen to me for that whole hour, you can kind of just like shoot over to the segments you want. Definitely music, relationships, some trendy stuff. Everybody does like the entertainment news. Not really interested in doing the entertainment news. There's plenty of that. I mean, TMZ's got it, but whatever. I want to do some, probably the thing about It's a Great Life, just kind of highlighting some of the great things that have happened in my life, and probably a health topic that's really not related necessarily to cancer, but it's just general health. There's a lot more things, of course, the martial arts and things like that as well. I do need sponsors. I do need support. First off, share my show, share my podcast, share my blog, please, please, please. And just share it with everybody you can. Yes, while we're talking about this goofy stuff and everything, there are a lot of things that are related to my health that I think people need to know, and that'll be, like I said, more on my blog. We're going to get that redirected and stuff like that. Any services you guys have, if you're good like at technology, or if you have any like extra equipment or whatever, if you can like draw my design on the back or do a logo, if you do any printing, t-shirts, anything, I will take anything and everything for this in my breast cancer campaign. And any place for me to talk, I'd like to go talk to people so they can take charge of their life and know my experience and how this healthcare system is just really what's happened in this whole situation. Please, please, please let me know. For those of you who don't know, I've been into wellness for a long time. I was a kinesiology major. I've always been very, very active, and I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. So, I worked for Weight Watchers for like 8 years too. So I do have a good background. I think I can give people some good advice. Oh my gosh, we're going to be running into an hour. So anyways, that being said, the events coming up, if you guys have any events coming up where I can go out and hand out propaganda and meet people, come on over and help me. Whatever you guys got to offer, just help me with anything. I got a ton of hair on my bedroom carpet. I don't even know where it's from. What the fuck is like hair on my carpet? Am I losing my hair? I am a fucking community project in itself. So while I'm going to be signing off in the next couple of minutes, I want to tell you that I appreciate you listening. I've always been an emotional person. I rarely cry for myself. Especially out of sadness. I cry every day. I'm not scared for myself. That's like what's totally dangerous. But I cry every day, mostly because I'm grateful. And the universe has really blessed me in so many ways. I know that each and every one of you is special. I know that sounds really corny and stuff. However, if you sent me around on Facebook friend request and I answered it, I know it's because we're not meeting each other by accident, that there's a reason. And there's nothing more important than people. And if we forget that, we're fucked. We're fucked. So this is Jem. And I have everything I need right now at the moment. And please follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Nothing but love.